Everybody. So we had a full week of stories and news on Rochester Rising this week. So if you haven't had a chance to catch up, here is your opportunity. So we started out this week sharing a post from the Investors and Innovators Forum that took place last week in Rochester. This was the third annual Investors and Innovators meeting. It was co-presented by a group in the community, including Collider Foundation, Destination Medical Center, Frederickson and Byron, and Ready and Mayo Clinic. Got together 150 different individuals here in Rochester to talk about the state of entrepreneurship and innovation. There was the forum was specifically focused around innovation in data, and it addressed some issues about data storage, the amount of data startups should actually be keeping. We all try to keep all this data. There was a panel discussion talking about investment from venture capitalists who invest in a range of different businesses in terms of industry and stage of business, and they talked about how they interact with entrepreneurs and what they look for when they do an investment. And there was also a founders roundtable as part of the Investors and Innovators Forum, talking about what are the ingredients for a successful startup. And we had two Rochester entrepreneurs on that panel, Daryl Barnes of Sonics Health and Mike Rowley of GoRoute. So if you missed the Investors and Innovators Forum, hopefully it'll come around for a fourth edition next year. On the podcast this week, I had a great time sitting down and chatting with mother and daughter team Amy and Linda Lorber of Gardenaire and Figue. So Gardenaire was the original family business using organic products that they grew to make different things like spices and shrubs, which are as a drinking vinegar that gets mixed in with other drinks. And now they're moving into a retail space called Figue on 16th Street Southwest, which will open up sometime this year to sell their products as well as other food products and cooking and baking supplies, and they'll also have an area for cooking and baking classes. So check out the podcast with them. It was a super fun podcast talking about food, the growing food culture, and their business mascot, who is named Mr. Rusty Bucket, and he is a dog, in case you were wondering, and he's super cute. He has his own Instagram account. So also this week, we had some really big news from our friends at Red Wing Ignite and for entrepreneurship as a whole. So really exciting news. Neela Mollgaard, the current executive director of Red Wing Ignite, is moving into a new role as the executive director of Launch Minnesota. So if you don't know what Launch Minnesota is yet, you will this year. It's a new initiative a new statewide program to foster innovation, the innovation ecosystem across the state. It has a $2.5 million annual budget to support entrepreneurship. So this is a fantastic thing for entrepreneurs in Minnesota, and we wish Neela the best of luck. Know she's going to do fantastic as executive director of Launch Minnesota, and look forward to what this program will do to help Minnesota entrepreneurs. And lastly, this week we had our latest 1 Million Cups Rochester. We had two local businesses tell their story. Brooke's Body Shop, which is the virtual training business, and also Nerdin, which is a local retail store that has comic books, collectibles, and is also putting on their Comic-Con this week. So you can check it out. That business is actually on 2nd Street Southwest, so you can stop in and check them out in their new location. And hopefully you can join us all at the next 1 Million Cups Rochester on September 4th at 9 a.m. in the Blue Duck Kitchen event space. And finally, this week, or continuing on this week, we're asking for help from the community for our digital magazine coming out this October. So specifically, we're looking for submission of opinion pieces from the community about mental wellness and entrepreneurship. We're collecting these through a Google form, so I'll just link the Google form into the notes for this video so you can find it more easily. But we're looking for pieces between 300 and 600 words in length, so it's about half a page to a page, talking about mental wellness and entrepreneurship. It's up to the person submitting what they want to chat about, but potential topics could include mental health, wellness as an entrepreneur, work-life balance, stress management, dealing with a hustle harder mentality, managing isolation and loneliness, burnout and imposter syndrome, and confidence issues. So if you're interested, we're looking for pieces to be submitted by this upcoming Thursday, August 15th. So again, I'll link the Google form link in the notes for this video so you can find it. So you can find all these stories, all that we talked about on our Facebook page if you scroll down, or you can go right to our website at rochesterrising.org, and have a fantastic weekend.